Hey, business building warrior, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. I've got a coaching student who went through our coaching program here not so long ago, built a beautiful business. He's going to share the journey, and we're going to just pull so many cool lessons out of this conversation today. He did some coaching with us there for a while. Life got busy. He's moved on, built a beautiful seven-figure brand. Just so many cool aspects of this story. Life has been very challenging for him with some significant losses, and this business allowed him to continue to earn while he was healing and still is healing from some of those losses. He's so much closer with his family than he would have been otherwise, in his own words, because of the time that his e-commerce business has afforded him. It's just a good conversation today between two dads who are trying to do life and business in a way that honors God, honors their family, and creates opportunity for the people that they love. And we have that in common. Trevor did a great job for us as a coach during the season he was here. A lot of students in our community benefited greatly from the time that they spent working with him. And his coach is another guy that has a very similar story. That's what we do here. So just as an aside, before we jump into Trevor's story, let me just make an observation and point something out to you. We've been doing e-commerce coaching for over 20 years at this point, well over 20 years. To my knowledge, one of, if not the longest running e-commerce coaching programs in the world, certainly the longest running Amazon coaching program. So what we've seen over thousands of students is we see leaders emerge, and they become leaders and coaches on our team, and they pour into others. And there's this ripple effect over time of all these great stories and relationships and business opportunities and ideas that have emerged because people tap into one simple lesson. We point this out in the conversation today between Trevor and I. I'll point it out right now as well. If you're intentional about relationships, you're going to do so well. One of the ways you can be intentional about building great relationships is to hire a coach from our team, because every coach on our team has two things in common. One, they've demonstrated repeatedly they have a teacher's heart. They love people. They love pouring into people. They love investing in people, partnering with them, finding creative solutions. They've got that. And the other is they've built a very successful business using the strategies that we teach here. So if you'd like to connect with a great coach on our team, give us a call, reach out. Let's have a conversation. We'll help build a strategy for you, regardless of whether you get a coach or not. We're going to build out a roadmap of success for you and your business. You can go to silentjimdotcom/book a call. There'll be a link in the show notes, or just go straight to Silent Jim. That's me, Jim, silentjim.com. Click on coaching. There's details there. We'd love to have a conversation with you. As you listen to Trevor's story, I think you might be inspired and encouraged to take that next step of reaching out, having a conversation with our team. So here's a guy who's built a seven-figure business. He's running at 21% approximately net profit. It doesn't take much work at all. He's built a beautiful brand. I'll say one last thing. If you are interested in starting to go down the road of building your own brand on Amazon, we don't typically teach these strategies to brand new students. You're not ready yet. It's like asking a toddler to carry a 50-pound suitcase. You're not ready yet. But as you grow and understand a little bit more of the landscape, you certainly are ready to do some of the bigger things like building your own brand. And Trevor attests today that he worked with our team and built an incredible brand. We'd love to help make that happen for you if you're ready. We can talk about that if you call the coaching floor as well. Call the consultants on our team, silentjim.com/book a call. Or we've got a service called Hummingbird that you might want to check out as well. Get there, have a conversation. We'd love to talk you through. It's the same consultants that work with our coaching and our brand building. So it's the same team. You can go either way. I'll put links to all that in the show notes. But let's jump over, have a great conversation now with my friend and former coaching student, Trevor Neal. Enjoy. So, hey, Trevor, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Good to see you again, my friend. It's been a while since we got caught up. So I'm learning along with the listeners. What have you been up to, man? But probably first where we should start is let's share the history, the part I'm familiar with, at least, of you and the community and kind of how it all got started and what you built.
Yeah. So originally, I feel like I've told this story a million times, but what's a million one? I started e-commerce back in 2018 of all things supplements for a private label, which is huge mistake. No. So from 2018 to about 2020, I was trying everything under the sun as far as e-commerce, drop shipping, done for you stores, private label, you name it, I did it and I failed at it. So it wasn't really until late 2020, early 21 that I found this community. And it was, people going in TJ Maxx or really retail stores, buying things and flipping them for a profit, essentially. So I really dove into that. And I was either going to do Amazon or put my money toward Airbnbs. So I hopped in the community. I really liked it. They're super, super helpful. And, one thing just led to another. I started doing retail arbitrage. Retail arbitrage led to me getting my own warehouse, from me getting my own warehouse to hiring a prep center. Then I ventured off into working with brands and businesses, getting them on Amazon as well, and just kind of like exponentiating. I guess that's even a word. Their platform on Amazon, and then I went back to private label and really haven't looked back since.
Do you still have the prep center?
Yes, I do.
Cool. And do you still have clients that you're helping with brand building?
Now, actually, I stopped that probably 2 years ago. And I was actually working with a baby food company out of Florida, and it just left a sour taste in my mouth. So it was me and my business partner at the time. We landed this deal, and it was just me and him doing all the legwork. We didn't have no VAs. I think it was my second or third client. So we were doing all the legwork. Long story short, I was in there late, multiple nights fixing his campaigns. And then one day I got up to recheck the campaigns and they were all changed and cut off. And, he redid the whole thing. And so I called up my business partner and I was like, hey, what's going on here? It's no different than you taking your car to the mechanic, bringing it home and fixing it again yourself. So that's really what he was doing. And it just kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. And I just said, no more, put it more focus on my brand and my business. And here I am today.
Yeah. It's interesting to me to see the progression play out in the students in this community of this kind of this roadmap vision that we've always had. It's based on observing mainly the low hanging fruit business opportunity, scan a few barcodes, flip a few things. Hey, look, I'm making $20 at a time on the internet finally. Like there's something here that
Yeah.
turns into relationships, opportunities,
Yes.
unique sourcing insights that other people haven't been exposed to because you got an exclusive relationship, which leads to a baby food company is like, hey, yeah, we'll pay you to manage our brand, which leads you to say, man, maybe I could launch my own brand, right? I mean, like we literally have illustrations of that exact progression that we've
Yeah.
created, kind of visualized for this community because that's kind of the roadmap. And you can stop at any level you want. Got multiple seven figures just doing the reselling thing, not so much
Yeah.
scanning barcodes anymore. I think we've talked most people out of, you can make side money that way, but set multiple seven figures is building a more robust system. But basically, I love how you just kind of mapped out the different kind of levels of opportunity that we have around here, and you've played with all of them, and you've settled with your own brand now.
Yeah.
How much can you tell us about that? I don't want to create competitors for you, but what are you up to there?
Well, I established it in 2022. Well, actually, let me kind of go back to when I was a coaching student. So at that time, when I had my trademark, Jonathan Bricker and Jonathan Stover were my coaches at the time.
Mhm.
So Bricker was my main coach, and I'm like, Bricker, I already have my trademark. I'm good to go. Let's start with some branded bundles here. So he really just opened my eyes on Helium 10. And the whole concept is people buy keywords, they don't buy products.
Right.
And I really nailed down Helium 10 like Kobe Bryant training for the finals. Like I knew this was a really powerful software. So I studied it for, I'd say a solid, really 3 months. I was diving into it. And then I came across a product and I brought it to Brooker. I was like, Brooker, I want you to look at this and I want you to look at his sales. And when you look at a product, there's multiple things I look for. Obviously, title, bullet points, where he's ranking on certain keywords. And the main thing is the pictures. So I'm like, Burger, this guy has crap pictures, but he's selling like 500 units a month. And I told him my spin on it. And with private label, you have to be different. Otherwise, you just want to create a Me Too product, and that's garlic press.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought that idea to Bricker. He's like, yeah, let's go for it. So me and Bricker, we built my product and launched it, started getting sales, and then started selling really fast. And then I got on the phone with Stover, and Stover's like, well, if you're really serious about this, you need to like order more and you need to send in a lot more. So I'd say probably 8 months later, I ended up getting an Amazon's Choice badge on it. And from there, it just grew. Actually, I got the numbers up here now. So in the last 30 days, I sold 2,169 units. The same 30 days last year, I sold 569 units. So we literally cannot stay in stock. I think that's what, a 3x smart?
Yeah.
3 or 4x mark.
Yeah.
But
No.
yeah, it's just been literally a machine to where you put $20 in and you get 30 out.
Yep. That's phenomenal. So your net margins are where?
Around 21%. And I just hit a rolling million in my last 12 months.
Right, which is what kind of prompted a celebration post in the Facebook group, and
Yeah.
you and I connected like, hey man, we need to catch up. It's been a while. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I'm so excited for you. What's your price point on that product?
$40.99 and my cogs are $13.68.
Cost you 13, $14 and you're selling it for 40.
Yeah. With ads,
net.
okay,
Yeah.
probably between 10 and $12 profit.
Gotcha. Per unit. Yeah. Phenomenal. So what are you planning on doing with this momentum? What opportunity always leads to opportunity, right? So as I say that, what's on the horizon? What would you like this to turn into? What are you kind of hoping for as
really
build out from this?
really right now I'm just growing the brand. And it's funny because late last year I had an offer to buy BM, and I'll be really transparent about it. They wanted 380. They offered me 380,000 for it. And I sat on it and I thought about it, obviously prayed on it. And I got with a couple of really close friends of mine and talked it over because me 3 or 4 years ago, like, yeah, send the paperwork.
Yeah. Where do I sign?
This is my income. So I decided not to sell. So my main MO now is grow it out a little bit more and probably exit, if not next year, the year after. And then I really want to focus more on real estate side, the real boring business model.
Right. Right. Oh, that's fantastic. I love the trajectory. It's an entrepreneurial mindset. It's seeking out the opportunities that present themselves. It's not having your nose so to the grindstone in a rut that you miss the opportunities that are kind of swirling all around you.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to look far, Trevor, in this community to see people who retired having done the same thing the entire time. And they did okay. But take your average eBay seller. They scavenged and hit yard sales and made $70,000-$80,000 a year hustling and take a couple of weeks off and sales would die. They got their death pile in their garage, That to me is like I would argue you kind of did it wrong. And I think the difference between kind of getting stuck in that rut and what I know observed about you and others who kind of break into these multiple opportunities is the relational aspect. Like you said, your first instinct was, well, you were a coaching student. You did some coaching for us as well there in a season when you were able to.
Yeah.
And you reached out to people, you built relationships that opens up doors. Now, speak to
Yes.
that for just a minute. Like, am I accurate in that?
You're 100% accurate. And you say this all the time. Business is all about relationships. And still to this day, I harp on it. I met my business partner now who runs my prep center through a relationship, go figure, from my UPS driver. And guess what my UPS driver name was? Keepa.
His name's Chipa.
Keepa.
Oh, Keepa? His name is actually
Yeah.
Keepa. Does he spell the same way as the software?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I
That's
mean, if that wasn't a God
crazy.
thing, I don't know what was. So,
Yeah, that was God tapping you on the shoulder saying, yeah, this guy's in your life for a reason. You need to talk to him. Keepa.
so he introduced me to Jose,
Yeah.
which is my business partner now, and he runs a construction company as well, along with my prep center.
Mhm.
And then he has products as well, and I help him with products.
Mhm.
So it's a relationship that goes hand in hand. So the Amazon side, if I have real estate questions or construction questions, guess what? I'm going
Jose.
back to hey, because of that relationship that I built.
Yeah,
And then,
exactly.
and then let's just say I have like a small issue around the house. We'll just send somebody to fix it.
Yeah,
And that's it.
you know the guy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that is so Trevor, I think you appreciate now more than probably maybe say 5 years ago, Trevor might not have appreciated as much as you'll appreciate what I'm about to say right now, which is if I was given the task, and I say this frequently, you may have heard me say it before, but if I was given the task where I only get to ask you one question, and then I have to predict how successful you will be as an entrepreneur, one question, and it's a yes or no. That one question, I'm pretty sure I haven't found anything better yet, is are you intentionally pursuing strategic relationships just constantly or
Yes.
not? If you're like, well, I'm not sure, that's a no
Mm-hmm.
because it's strategic and it's intentional. Are you strategically, intentionally, constantly seeking relationships in this marketplace? If yes, I will bet on you right now.
Mm-hmm.
If no, you're a lone wolf, you're going to burn out because you take the people out of your life, Trevor, just an observation I'm making, the people you've mentioned and others you haven't, and you take them out and you try to figure this out on your own, you're still scanning barcodes at TJ Maxx, hoping to flip $20 into $32 sales on Amazon 6 years later, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Does that resonate?
No, you're absolutely right. And when I had my own warehouse, I was working in isolation for I want to say close to 6 months, where I was doing the prepping, I was doing the packing, I was doing, my listings, I was doing everything, and I was burnt out.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in this warehouse, just I wasn't talking to anybody, and I was just AI wasn't even as big as then, so I couldn't even talk to
You can even
AI.
talk to Grok or ChatGPT, right?
No, so isolation is very bad, and it's very very important just to get out and mix and mingle, and don't just mix and mingle with other Amazon sellers, just other business owners in general, because I always say this: I don't care if you sweep the floor of the building or you own the building, you are valuable one way or another. And it's
Absolutely.
our job as intelligent business owners to find that value in that person and leverage it some way, somehow.
To mutual benefit every
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all business is mutually beneficial arrangements. That's all, that's what a transaction is. I haven't pointed this out recently, but in thousands of year Hebrew wisdom tells us that a transaction is a mutually beneficial starting point for a lifelong friendship, partnership. That's all a transaction is. It's
Yeah.
the mutually beneficial starting point of a lifelong mutually beneficial arrangement.
Yeah.
God gave us that. Hey, we'll get back to the episode in just a moment. There's a new sponsor that I'm excited to tell you about. They're called 2D workflow. What do? Well, they save you a bunch of money on your inbound shipments when you send product to Amazon FBA. That's right. They've gone out and negotiated with the same carriers you're already used to using. They just have better rates. You can check out the tool completely free for 2 weeks, send in a few shipments, compare prices side by side before you choose what you're going to do. And if you're not saving money, if you don't like it, just uninstall it. It's going to speed up your shipments. It's going to get you some better rates. 2D Workflow is the name of the company. Get the great 2-week free offer at silentjim.com/2D. That's the number 2, the letter D. Go check them out. Tell them we sent you. Let's get back to the episode. It's the mutually beneficial starting point of a lifelong mutually beneficial arrangement.
Yeah.
God gave us that. So,
Yes.
So the conversations where no money is exchanged, extremely valuable, obviously. But also when you start getting into these relationships, you paid us for coaching. Well, was that a good investment? Far beyond what you learned from those sessions, the relationships, and I say this all the time, if all you got was the relationships and you never got any instruction at all, but you just got access to the relationships that you now have access to, it was an investment worth multiple times the price.
Inevitable. And going back to relationships, obviously I was a coaching student of Bricker and John. They invited me to Seattle last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had a free ticket to Amazon Accelerate. Right. Amazon hosts this big, not party, but big convention. They do throw a party every September in Seattle. And Bricker called me. I was like, hey, give me your store ID. Got you a ticket right here. Solely based off of a good relationship that we had.
Yeah. And you look at, Jonathan Bricker's backstory. He's a music minister at a church near where I live who started listening to our podcast. Didn't even realize that I lived near him. He started listening. We bumped into each other randomly here in town. He's like, wait, is that you? I'm like, yeah. Ended up becoming a coaching student, built a beautiful business, got into the consulting model, kind of the same trajectory you went on, except he was just a few years ahead of you. So this former music minister at a mid-sized church here near us, he's now full-time e-commerce, considered one of the great leaders in our community, helping people navigate brand builds and that sort of thing. It's just in everyone's story. It's relationships, constant every step. I think that's what I love about your stories. It just reinforces what I say so often, and I get looked at cross-eyed by a lot of especially newer people who's like, no, you don't understand. I don't need relationships. I need to know the software, the process, the instruction. That's what I need. I'm like, we can give you that, and we will, and we're better than anyone. But please hear me. You don't want to put yourself in a box and just pound on your keyboard at 2 a.m. I think that's the way you're going to make a lot of money in this industry. It's relationships.
Yeah.
What else? What other parts of your story? What are we missing? What are we leaving out? Anything else come to mind that you're excited about, or any challenges that maybe some lessons you learned along the way?
Man, just not a whole lot. Like last year was a horrible, horrible year for me. Lost my father. 2 weeks later, I lost my grandfather. And then a month later, I lost my brother. So me and God, we've been really BFFs. So I really honed into my faith early last year. It's been inevitable, what God has done for me and to me is just, I love it. I just absolutely love it. And before, let's just say kind of like 2 years ago, I had this business locked in to where I was putting in maybe 3 hours worth of work, a week. That's just fiddling around on Seller Central, calling a warehouse. Hey, do you need anything? If not, I just kind of lose myself in the movie room, or, I go to the gym. I really didn't steward this business well.
Ooh,
and, God implemented this seed, this beautiful seed in my head to have this idea, and I wasn't really stewarding it well. Yeah, I was making money, but I was just, kind of being a sloth about it. So what I'm doing now is not only in my personal life, but in my business as well, I act like God is the CEO.
Yeah.
So I don't have any boss. I don't have a boss. I am the boss, but he's the boss now.
Mm.
And I've really implemented that. Like, I'm not slacking off anymore. There's less TV time. I'm working on another book. I'm working on some other projects. I'm really expanding this brand and just overall just being a good steward of what he has given me and just total gratitude.
I'm going to try not to go off on a soapbox too much here, but man, you know what's popping in my head as I hear you talking, Trevor, is the story of King David. I've been studying him a little bit, and you know I've heard all the stories, but just diving into his life and some of the lessons. And you know, when he got himself in trouble, the most tragic thing he ever did was Bathsheba, right? He saw this hot chick on a roof near his balcony. He's like, I want her. Well, she's married, sir. Okay, well, let's figure out a way to get her husband killed in battle. Like, terrible stuff. But you back up a little bit before that. It said it was spring and it was time for the kings to go off to war, but David decided to kind of stay home. He's going to sit this one out. I'm just going to kind of make life about me now. I've kind of achieved the things that I felt called. So I'm just going to kind of call a little time out and kind of enjoy and make life about me. And what happens next? Bathsheba, murder. Like, come on. The guy loses all the, just about loses everything. We're not built. I'm not talking about you and me, but I'm talking about any of us. We're not built for that. Like, I'm just going to make it about me now and just kind of chill. I've kind of arrived. Nope. If you're listening to God at all, he's going to smack you upside the head about then and make you realize, okay, I've got a lot more serving and giving and doing to do.
Yes.
Yeah, you weren't made for that. You were not made for coasting. And I'm so sorry for the losses that you faced, man. It's a familiar loss for me, having lost my dad in 2020, and so I know what that feels like. And then back to back tragic losses. And what that does to people is just making an observation. And I'll toss it back to you to give me some thoughts. But I'll take a leader with a limp any day
Yeah.
over someone who just hasn't been hit upside the head yet, or someone who was maybe they were smacked 5, 6, 7 years ago and they just haven't found a way to get out of their own head yet.
Yes.
And they're kind of rocking in a corner because they deserve to be allowed to rock in a corner because of what happened to them 7 years ago. Right.
You're totally right. And I want to kind of flip this to the Amazon perspective. We go on social media every day and I find two new influencers a week now. And it's basically just a 20-year-old who figure out how to read a keep it chart.
Yeah.
So,
through a stack of $20 bills like he's, king of the world. And yeah.
So who do you want teaching you, not put myself on the soapbox, me, where I've failed miserably for years. And I know all mistakes and I know a bad path, a mile away for the 20-year-old who hasn't had the trials and tribulations that I had. That goes back with your leader with the limp.
Yeah, exactly. And some people have an appreciation for that and others don't. But typically it's the younger you are, the less these kind of messages resonate. But the bigger you can make that list of influential people in your life, mentors, coaches, people you're listening to that are leaders who have been flattened and then overcome, man, those are some of the most powerful, impactful, because I think one of the skills you develop is empathy, and you can recognize a lack of it in others so fast. It's like if you'll find yourself saying, you'll know you've arrived at that point. I think one of the tests, Trevor, see if this resonates with you, is you find yourself looking at other people and listening to their problems. And inside, you're nodding and you're being polite, but you're thinking, man, this person needs a real problem. Because they need a real challenge. You haven't been blasted. You haven't built something and had it smashed yet.
Yeah.
Right. You haven't been in a relationship and had it yanked from you. You haven't, but that humility and then that overcoming. I heard one pastor say, when you get knocked down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
Yeah, I actually said that the other day.
Exactly. When that kind of stuff starts to resonate, and we make ourselves sound old, but man, there's wisdom in this stuff. There really is. And the younger you are, when you start to realize these kinds of things, man, it's such an advantage. And And I'm proud of you, man. You've overcome a lot. You've faced adversity. You're still navigating a lot of it, but you've built something beautiful, and you're giving back, sharing the sharing the details. It's great
Yeah.
getting caught up with you, man.
Thank you. Yes. Like I said, it's been a while, yeah, at least a couple of years.
Yep, it has been. Well, any thoughts that you want to leave folks with? I don't want to cut you off, but I think we've motivated and encouraged some folks as to what's possible, and it's been good seeing you. I know we had a little conversation beforehand about the Proven Conference, maybe late August. Hope to see you there if you're able to make it.
Yeah, definitely. As far as no, I don't really have anything. Except for like going back to the isolation and get in, go out and network, obviously. And I always say this, if your friends and family don't bring you up or are not uplifting your circle, that is, if they're not uplifting, then you're in a cage, you're not in a circle. So your friends should be uplifting you, should be motivating you, should genuinely wanting you to do better than them. So if that's not the case in your circle, you're not in a circle, you're in a cage.
Mm. I heard something that I think might hit you in the heart if you've never heard it before, Trevor. You and I are in that, lost our dad club. And I heard someone say recently, the thing that hits a guy so hard when he loses his dad is he's lost the only guy that he knows for sure was rooting for you to be better than he was.
Yeah.
Right? That's good. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
you have other guys that are rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. But
Yeah.
in my deepest part of my heart that I would hope that you would far exceed anything I ever had dreamed for myself. That's a tough thing for a dude to feel for another guy. But your
Hmm.
dad did, right? So you've lost
Yeah.
that one guy that you knew was rooting for you to be far more successful than he ever was. That hits kind of hard. But that circle, if they're not supporting you and rooting for your success, it's a cage. Man,
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
And another thing too, I'm just so glad that I failed, obviously. I failed and I built up my resiliency meter, but I found this group and I just went on this path. And this path ended up leading me just to be home, work from home and spend that quality time with my son and have that relationship that me and my father had. And I'm able to drop him off at school. I'm able to pick him up, eat lunch with him, and it's all solely because of I bet on myself. Did I fail? Absolutely, but I'm not boo-hooing on the couch. I fell. Excuse me, on my back. So I looked up, I got him, and this is my life now. I'm just
Ultimately
so
led to a 7-figure business that's
yeah,
actually running itself.
and more importantly, time with my son. We'll
Yep.
play catch or do whatever, and I'm just so thankful for me
To be able to be there.
to
Yeah.
be home. And you say this all the time: bring dads home.
Yep.
Right here.
Yep. You've heard me say multiple times, man. I've said it for 20 years now. I don't know what it feels like to be a mom that gets to be home or a grandparent that has some extra money to travel. Our strategies work for anyone. The concepts work for anyone willing to work. But bringing dads home has been my heart simply because it was such a powerful, it was like if my life was divided into part one and part two, the big moments have been accepting Christ, getting married, and having my own business where I could set my own schedule and be there for my family. Those are the big
Yeah.
three.
Oh yeah.
Like those are the big three chapters. Like if you like, those are the three moments of my story. But someday when you look back over your shoulder, like it's hard to beat those, man. The birth of your kids, obviously, there's other significant events in there. But as far as like just those pivot points for your life where everything gets different,
Hmm.
being able to set your own terms and be there for your family,
Yeah.
there's nothing like it. So I said over 20 years ago, I want this for as many dudes as possible. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Right. And you do as well. I know that's your heart, man. I can
Yes.
sense it. And you've been a big part of helping make that happen in this community. And I think there's many of those opportunities ahead as well. All right, man. Well, this is a good episode. Neither one of us had any idea what we'd talk about, just a matter of getting caught up. I knew you were hitting some big numbers and doing some good stuff. And so here we are, man. Great episode, though. Appreciate you, brother. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
Absolutely. Hey, I've got some good news for the listeners who hung out with Trevor and I today. If you enjoyed this episode and you found yourself thinking, man, I wish there was more content like that out there, good news. We got like 1,100 episodes, and not all of them are going to be this great for everyone. Maybe you'll love some others, some better than others, but we have interviewed hundreds of our students over the past, we're coming up on a decade. And scroll back in time. You can hear a lot of really great stories. And if you're ready to have a conversation with someone on our team about how you can start to make some of this a reality in your life, go to silentjim.com, click on coaching, or go to straight to silentjim.com/book a call and hop on the phone with someone on our team. I take some of those calls too, and we'll talk you through what your options are and get you on a good path. But you're the best part of this show. We're so glad you listen, and thank you for making this show possible by spending some time with us. Leave us a review if you haven't yet. 5 stars and a thumbs up and all that. We always appreciate that. It helps us spread the word. And one last shout out, Trevor. Thank you so much, my friend. It's good to see you again, brother.
Thank you again.
God bless you, man. To the listeners, we'll have another great episode for you very soon. We'll talk to you then. Hey, thanks for spending some time with us today. One last time before I let you go, I want to remind you about that free offer from 2D Workflow. They're the ones that can help you save a lot of money on your inbound shipping with FBA. They've gone out and negotiated great rates with all the carriers you're already using, and you can see a side-by-side comparison as you're preparing your shipments. And if they have a better rate, use it. It's the same carrier, less money. Why not? Go check out silentjim.com/2D, the number 2, the letter D, to see 2D Workflow. Thanks for spending time with us today. We'll have more great episodes for you very soon.